So this is my current PC build. It's gone through so many iterations throughout the past few years, and I've made so many videos of PC builds on YouTube, but not really one showing off my personal system. And that is what we'll be doing today. And by the way, all the specs are going to be linked in the description section below. So ever since quarantine started, I've pretty much been doing all my work at home. That includes doing homework for college, creating videos, as well as playing video games. And since I'm always online, that inherently raises my risk for malware, and that's where Trend Micro's Premium Security Suite comes in. Trend Micro's Premium Security Suite offers one of the most comprehensive security solutions. It includes ID security in the form of dark web monitoring, a password manager so you don't have to memorize 50 different passwords, mobile security so you can also download an app on your Android or iOS device, and VPN Proxy 1 Pro that I've been using on my PC and my phone to browse the web anonymously and just for that extra peace of mind. I also periodically scan my PC's files to make sure I haven't downloaded any weird viruses, because I do open a bunch of attachments on email every day. If you want to check out Trend Micro's Premium Security Suite, I'll leave a link in the description section below for your convenience. And thank you so much to Trend Micro for sponsoring this video. Alright, so let's go over all the specs in my current PC build. The case is the Lian PCO11 Dynamic Mini. It's a smaller version of the Lian PCO11 Dynamic. I say smaller, but it's like not really that much smaller because it still supports 9 fans. The airflow is amazing, and I love that there's a bunch of tempered glass so you can show off all the RGB in your system. And it does support RTX motherboards, which I do use an NZXT N7B550 in here. I've been using that since around March of 2021, and it's been working pretty well with my Ryzen 9 3900X. I'm not even gonna lie, NZXT's motherboards were terrible. I actually had a Z370 one before. It worked with my i5 9600K, but overclocking, I didn't really go very far. But NZXT recently switched over to a different OEM. They're using ASRock for the newer motherboards. That includes their Intel motherboards as well. And I have nothing to say but positive things. There are so many USB ports in the back. You get the latest standards for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and it looks pretty clean in my opinion. I've heard some people say it looks like a Lego motherboard, so I guess it's kind of personal preference, but I really do like how it looks inside my build. The graphics card I'm using is the Evga Rtx 3080Ti Xc3 Ultra. I've had it for a couple months now, and I got it on Newegg Shuffle. I honestly just got really lucky, and I was desperate for a new 30 series graphics card, so I just got this. Generally speaking, I don't recommend the 3080 Ti because value-wise, it's not really worth it. Like if you wanted a high-end graphics card, just get a 3090. And if you wanted a high-performing graphics card for gaming, you should probably just stick to a 3080. The 3080 Ti is around 7 to 10% faster than the 3080 in terms of gaming, and that's not really worth it considering it's like almost 2 times the price. With the current GPU market, the silicon shortage going on, I guess you can't really be picky. That's the only reason why I have a 3080 Ti in my build. For the RAM, I'm using 32GB of 3200MHz Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro in the white color. I also have 2 filler sticks from Corsair just to make sure I don't have any empty RAM slots. I think the RAM looks really nice in this build, and Corsair iQ works pretty well in my experience. I currently run my CPU with Precision Boost Overdrive enabled. I have overclocked it a bit with this motherboard, and I used to overclock a lot more before, but I don't really do it anymore because it requires you to test your computer for stability, and I don't really have the time to do that. And plus, I just want a system that works reliably, and Precision Boost Overdrive with this motherboard does work pretty well. Then 7B550 is obviously not the highest end motherboard out there. It has a ton of features that I like. The design is pretty nice. The BIOS is better than before, but it's not very refined. It's still pretty basic. I'm not a competitive overclocker. It doesn't really matter to me. I kind of just prefer a system that looks nice. For the CPU cooler, I'm using an NZXT Kraken Z53. It's a 240mm radiator, and I switched out the 2 120mm fans with 2 Lian AL120s. By the way, all the fans in this system are AL120s. They're Lian's new RGB fans that I've been using. They look really nice and they perform pretty well. The 2 fans on the radiator are set to intake to bring in fresh air. The bottom 3 fans are set to intake to bring in fresh air for the graphics card, and then the other 4 fans, 1 in the back and 3 at the top, are set to exhaust to bring out all the hot air. And this configuration does work pretty well. I'll show CPU and GPU temps over here. I have no complaints. Nothing really throttles in the system. Performance is amazing with 9 freaking fans. For storage, I actually run 2 M.2 drives. So one is a Samsung 970 EVO Plus. It's a PCIe 3.0 NVMe SSD, and that's where I have my Windows 10 installation installed, as well as some of my important applications. I also have a 1TB PCIe 4.0 SSD from Sabrent, and that's where I store all my video files that I'm currently editing for my video projects. And I have 2 8TB hard drives running in RAID 1 that are not installed in the system. I actually have them in an external hard drive enclosure. That's just for all my large video files after I'm done editing them. I dump all my video files into that hard drive and just forget about it. A couple other things with the PC build. The power supply is the Corsair SF750. It's an 80 plus platinum rated power supply. It works pretty well. It's an SFX unit. The cables actually are not long enough to reach the main compartment of the case, so you need cable extensions for this build. It doesn't have to be super flashy ones, but I'm running CableWatt's cable extensions. I bought a whole bunch of them, and I also got some 24-pin cable combs to bunch up the cables for the graphics card PCIe power cables, make them look a little bit neater. In this case, only supports SFX or SFXL power supplies. Make sure that you get a compatible one. I think I pretty much covered everything inside this build. Performance is amazing. Thermals are definitely in check. In the future, I think I'm planning on a couple upgrades. I'm not going to upgrade the graphics card anytime soon. If anything, I might consider downgrading and selling this one, but that's just a possibility. I'm not really sure I'm going to do that. I am considering water cooling this build, so I already have a distro plate for this case, and that allows me to easily route tubing. I haven't purchased any radiators or other custom water cooling supplies yet, because I'm still planning out the entire budget in terms of how long it's going to take. Knowing me, it's going to take at least a few days, maybe even like a week or two, and it's going to be kind of expensive. Alright, so that is my current PC build. Yet again, all these specs are linked in the description section below, and if you want to suggest any components to upgrade in this build, make sure to tell me in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed.